it's Amy, how are you doing? Today we're going to be rating my top 3 favourite excursions from my latest holiday in Turkey. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. At number 3, we have Pamukkale, also known as Cotton Castle. I was sold on this excursion due to its surreal terraces known as the calcareous rock deposits from the mineral springs. On this excursion you get to experience the remarkable ancient ruins of, I think it's pronounced Hierapolis or Hierapolis. I'm going to pop the word somewhere on the screen here so you can reference what I'm talking about. The travel time from Marmaris to the Pamukkale is about 3 to 4 hours. Travel time on a luxurious, lovely coach. You do have a lot of stops. There is a stop for breakfast or lunch, can't really remember now. And then you arrive at the Pamukkale, aka Cotton Castle, because as you arrive, all you can see is a white cliff face of calcium, basically. I recommend going into the hot springs. In my description and in my opinion of what I experienced, it felt like I was having a rather hot bath with a ton of strangers with dirt and moss, to be honest. Make sure you do go and see the Cotton Castle itself. The site is magnificent. You are allowed to walk on it and you are allowed to sit and enjoy the hot springs and thermal pools. However, if you do decide to do this, you will not be able to wear your shoes or any means of footwear due to the prevention of erosion of the calcium deposits, basically. Just to let you know, the rock is so sharp to touch, let alone walk on it. Parts are very slippery, so walk at your own risk, and if you do fall over, you're in for something a little bit nasty. So at number 2, we have Cleopatra Castaway, and I am obsessed with anything to do with the Egyptians, so as soon as Cleopatra's name was mentioned, my ears pricked up. Along with the sound of adventure of riding in a open top jeep along the mountainside, we were joined on this excursion, not only just us in a jeep, we were also joined by 4 or 5 other jeeps racing to the top of the mountain to see the scenery and then racing back down to hop on board Jolly Roger. Once you're on board the Jolly Roger, we were then served with a lunch. You get 3 stops. The first stop is a snorkeling stop in a private bay. The water's crystal clear. There are life jackets are provided. I would probably grab one if you're not a strong swimmer, as the water was about 4 to 5 meters deep. The only thing you can really hold on to was a floating rope separating the beach to the bay where we was allowed to swim, and the boat ladder climbing in and out of the boat, which was it really. So I recommend wearing a life jacket if you're really not a strong swimmer. Your second stop is the Cleopatra Island. The island, oh my goodness, the island itself is a stunner, and they call it the Cleopatra Island because legend says Mark Antony brought over the sands from the Sahara to give to the lady herself. And with that being said, no, you are not allowed to walk on the sand. The sand is boarded off, you're not allowed on it. There are security guards after you come out from the ocean to make sure you shower off all the sand. On the Cleopatra Island, before we got to enjoy the beach, we were taken around to see the Kendrel, the ancient city of Kendrel. It features like a historic ruins of a theatre, which was quite interesting. All the ruins are accessible via a wooden path, which was only built in 2017 when a group of 25 people were working on the island and revealed some of the artifacts. From then, excavations went ahead under the supervision of the Ministry of Culture by archaeologists and prisoners, which I thought was quite interesting. You don't have to stick with your tour guide to go have a look around. You can access them via the wooden path yourself, but I would recommend sticking with someone to learn that little bit more culture and history of the island itself. And after you've had this tour, then I would go and indulge yourself in the lovely sands and oceans of the Cleopatra. I'm not gonna lie, on the third stop I was ready just to have like a little siesta, but as soon as I saw the stop, it was just it was just a cliff face. You dive in and there is nothing beneath you. You can't even see the ocean floor. It's about 40 foot of just pure ocean underneath you. There are tiny little fish swimming around, which is quite nice. Do grab a life jacket if you're not a strong swimmer, because that water is deep. So at number 1, and do you know what? First was the Outback Turtle Adventure. Get ready to be grossed out, because in this excursion you're going to get down and dirty. To get to the famous mud baths, we hopped back into a jeep and rode around the outskirts and back roads of where we crossed a river and basically arrived at what looked like total wipeout. First, we prepped ourselves in a pool of disgusting mud where the woman told us to lower ourselves down into the mud and crawl like a crocodile to cover our entire bodies through this stinky, lovely mud. And yes, we were all wondering, because of this stench, what earth is inside this mud, and our prayers and thoughts were answered when frogs were jumping out of the mud, which was disgusting. From having our lovely mud bath, we were then transferred over to this obstacle course where we were climbing up and down hills, sliding back into the mud, climbing over tyres, hanging off ropes, and going through a very large, scratchy, bouncy castle, which, yeah, I was doing all right until I see spiders run across the water and a dead fish floating by. After you've finished your obstacle course, I'm a celebrity moment, you then have a lovely spot of lunch, which actually was really nice. After we finished our lunch, we then hop back onto the Jeep and we head towards the Turtle Beach. And you probably already guessed, Turtle Beach is a breeding ground for the endangered loggerhead sea turtles. The beach is actually located south of Dalyan, Turkey, and is actually a protected beach due to a now 91-year-old woman by the name of June Heimhoff, hopefully I'm saying that right, where she saved the beach from being turned into a large hotel resort and various holiday villas. And also on the beach you do have a small cafe where you can hire sun lounges. The place where we stopped at first before we got to experience the beach was the Rescue and Research Centre for the Injured Turtles. This was very interesting, and please do experience and take as much in as you can. Give money and donations, because that's all they survive off of, is donations from the public and tourists, is saving these turtles. There is a main story about a turtle. If I can find a picture I will put it up. Its head was injured via something, I think it was a ship. They made a prosthetic to make sure that the turtle could still eat, because its face and skull was very badly injured. Unfortunately, the turtle did die, so they preserved it, and you can see the preserved turtle in this lovely tank. It is quite big. It is quite a shocker actually. And after, you do get to go and wander, swim and bathe along the beach however you wish. And please look out for the turtle nests, which are protected from us and the wildlife, and count how many you see. It's just a fun little interaction and a fun way to sort of get involved with nature. I personally didn't really go for a swim. I'd had my shower after my mud bath and I wasn't really wanting to get back wet and dirty again, so I was quite happy with that. I would have loved to have seen the turtles hatch from their nest, but I think that only happens in a certain time of year between dusk and night, but maybe one day I'll be able to go and see that. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching me rate my favourite excursions. Let me know in the comments your favourite excursion that you've been on, or have you actually done any of the excursions that I've mentioned in today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and please subscribe. By the end of this year, I do wish to have reached at least 100 subscribers, hopefully more. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye!